We're joined now by Dr. Femi Adegbulu, who is a certified protection professional. Thank you for coming on this morning.
My pleasure to be here again. Thank you.
You know, you've done several papers on this activity of this terror group, even beyond. Were you surprised at this designation by the U.S.?
Sincerely, I'm not, because apart from the first paper I did on Boko Haram, I did another one on the attempt of the same Boko Haram trying to franchise with Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, which was systematically turned down. By now, I don't know whether they have actually been received as full members of as a Al-Qaeda franchise. What I just want to say is that it's just that our people are not proactive. I saw this coming a long time ago, because these attempts, the various attempts that Boko Haram has made towards franchising the mainstream of Al-Qaeda is aware. I mean, the U.S. has been following this situation for a very long time. And so if they are now declaring at this time, some people in the security profession will not be surprised at all. It's just that our government is not proactive enough to see this coming.
Why
to forestall it before it happens.
Why do you say the government is not proactive? What has their proactivism? Because right now what they're doing is commending the government of the United States for proscribing the group, as it were.
Proscribing? Have they proscribed the group, or they have just designated the group as a terrorist group? And that means a lot to us as a country.
They're commending them, so it means they're happy with the decision.
But the decision comes with a lot of overhang on us. It's not just proscribing them.
We recall, I mean, we do recall very vividly that the attempt to designate this group a terrorist group has been on for some time now, yes. Even from the time of when General Zazi, late General Zazi, was security advisor. We know that there was some attempts to lobby the U.S. government not to designate the group a terrorist organization just then get. So why do you accuse the federal government of not being proactive?
Proactivity in the sense that, no, I'm even talking from the perspective of not allowing this whole thing to fester the way it has done now. For instance, you know, outright stamping out of a terrorist group is what is recommended, not condoning or even calling them to a parley, or calling them even dangling what you call an amnesty before they and all that, because these are people who have taken up arms against their fatherland and against civilization. So these are not people you call to a round table and begin to dialogue with them, or not, because more so what they are asking for is not something that any government can grant. We all know what Boko Haram is asking for, although it has had, you know, it has a kind of there is vociferous tendency in the Boko Haram issue now, because it has many faces. But we know that the bottom line of what the mainstream Boko Haram is asking for is something that Nigeria cannot grant, okay? Because they want to dismember Nigeria, they want to impose Islamic State and all that. So we cannot grant that. So calling them on a round table, and that's why the leader is saying that we don't want your amnesty, because what we are looking for is far higher. It's a kind of ideology which cannot stay in this country. So that is why I say they have been condoned for so long.
So tell us some of the implications, because it seems that we should be worried that this group and Ansaro has been designated, or have been designated terrorist groups.
Seriously, we should be worried, because in the first place, any country that has been designated like this, you see, your visa or your traveling document will be starred, will be asterisk, okay? Anywhere you get at the entry point, you'll be separated for special grilling, I mean drilling, and a kind of dehumanizing treatment, just like the people from the Horn of Africa, these people, the Somalia. So wherever they go, because once you have that toga of this thing with you, they separate you from among other people. No, for special, for special size.
Isn't this one a little different?
Profiling will start on a very grand scale now for Nigeria. Because
we understand that the move will not in any way cause harassment of Nigerians.
It's easier said than done, because once you appear as a Nigerian, They don't know whether you are a sympathizer of Boko Haram or not. That name, Nigeria, is already in their database. And the profiling will start immediately, and the discrimination will start. We are not going to find it easy, and that's just the bottom line.
But again, I think if we look at it critically, I think it looks like it's the best because you say, well, it's long overdue. Because with this now, anyone who gives what they call material support to the group, even in the United States, will be termed also a terrorist or a criminal. So perhaps, do you think that this is coming because they've been able to infiltrate or get some kind of alliance with some other international terrorist groups?
I wouldn't be surprised if that has happened, because at the time I did my paper about 6 months ago, there was serious move, by the by the Boko Haram echelon to get that franchise. Of course, whether they have met certain conditions that were set for them, in order to be admitted.
Franchise of the Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb or Al-Qaeda proper?
Al-Qaeda, the mainstream Al-Qaeda, so that once they have the franchise, of course, I'm sure that was what the U.S. may have been privy to have declared them,
Because certainly I'm sure they're working with some kind of information, because if we thought that we were almost winning the war with the activity of the JTF in those states in the northeast, and now this is coming just when we thought it was, or it will soon be over. Does that mean that we haven't been able to nip this, or have we successfully pushed them out and they are possibly, well, regrouping somewhere else?
It is obvious. Sometimes maybe because the way Nigeria is constituted also is a problem. In the U.S., if anybody is seen to have sympathized or to have contributed in any way, or is hobnobbing with these undesirable elements in any way, and they'll be fished out, and they'll be interrogated, and the necessary thing will be done, to serve as deterrent to others. But but we all know that in Nigeria things like that are not done. Names have been mentioned here and there. Many people have been accused or indicted to have one dealing or the other with the Boko Haram element. Nothing has been done to these people. So when you have a situation like that, you have sympathizers even among the people who are supposed to give intelligence report and all. So we have a lot of problems. You see, in countries that are really serious to stamp out this kind of undesirable element, there is cooperation among the various segments of the society, and particularly the agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of taking care of things like this. But here we have a cacophony of voices. People, somebody will give this order, the other one give. Things are not just going right the way it should be going, and that is why these people are actually proliferating, because they still have some sympathizers here and there. You see, some of them even get more intelligence than government officials. So this is the problem, the situation we find ourselves, until such people who are sympathizing with them, either remotely or whatever, are fished out and actually dealt with without caring whose house is God this time, whether the political party he belongs to, the part of the country is coming from. We put the interest of Nigeria as first thing, to save this country. Until we do that,